I'd now like to turn briefly to the internet and examine how it's begun to transform our understanding of journalism. 3 changes are worth noting. First, journalists are no longer gatekeepers, gathering the news and deciding what is important and what is not. Thanks to the World Wide Web, consumers can increasingly find out what they want from many different sources. The web allows consumers to link together through social networking sites to create their own information exchanges, bypassing traditional media. Second, citizens are becoming their own editors. When we search the internet, we're no longer passive consumers of news. We're not so much reading stories as actively hunting through multiple sources for an answer. And while aggregating tools such as Google and Yahoo are still relatively new, they represent a world of difference between the printed word of the newspaper or the spoken word of the TV screen or radio. Such as the mobile phone. Many other forms of information. Faster, and it's vastly expanded the knowledge of it. Now this also journal. I mean, raw journalism is very different. It's largely based on opinion rather than established fact. Now let me issue a health warning at this point. Before people utter the word retro in the audience. Bloggers have broken important stories and will continue to do presidential campaign. The top aide to Prime Minister Gordon Brown had dispatched emails proposing an organised campaign to spread slurs about the Conservative Party. The same standards as those who aspire to and practice crafted journalism. They're often happy to report rumours fact, arguing that readers or fellow networkers can step in to correct those facts if they turn out to be wrong. They're rarely engaged in the pursuit of original news. Their bread and butter is opinion and comment. Their web-driven culture of immediacy means they're often more consumed by the need to be first than right. And there's a good reason for that. In the words of Michael Arrington, the influential tech blogger from California, first, it's cheap. Right, it's expensive. Now, I hate to sound precious. British journalism has, after all, always put a premium on scoop, and it's long blurred the distinction between news and comment. The rise of the bloggers may simply signal the last gasp of the age of deference, not just in politics, but also in general social mores in Britain, America, and elsewhere. And nor does it follow that the World Wide Web has dumbed down journalism. On the contrary, it's created opportunities to smarten up. News organizations with specialist skills and knowledge, can't think who I'm thinking of here, have the opportunity to thrive. It's the mediocre middle that's at risk. Overall, however, it's vital that traditional news organizations harness the powers of new media to ensure that crafted or quality journalism can thrive. This requires, first of all, a mastery of technology, not necessarily a strength amongst newspapers or other legacy news businesses. It also requires a willingness to radically rethink the business model which has sustained such journalism for the past century or more. Now, rethinking that model can lead news organizations into perilous territory. The Washington Post recently landed itself in trouble over a half-baked idea to offer lobbyists access to administration officials in return for a hefty fee, sugared by the fact that the proposed salon would be held in the house of the proprietor and in the presence of the editor and other senior journalists. This plan has now been abandoned. But only after some damage to the Post brand, and it has a formidable brand, and above all, its formidable reputation as an independent news organization, rather than an influence broker. A far better path forward is for news organizations to focus on what makes their brand different from the rest. It could be sports or celebrity coverage, or simply a long-standing and established reputation for standing up for the common man or woman. Figuring out what is special, distinctive, and original is the first vital step. The second is to establish an online platform capable of charging for content, whether on a payment per article basis or a package subscription. Now, we at the FT have pioneered the concept of a frequency model, whereby a limited number of articles on the web are offered as free tasters before users are asked to subscribe. And we are seeing sustained and growing revenue as a result of this strategy, which is crucial at a time of weakened advertising. Many news organizations are following suit. Latterly, the New York Times, which had previously been unambiguously in favor of free access for its own content. How these online payments models work and how much revenue they can generate is still up in the air. But I confidently predict, and I don't often make the prediction, that within the next 12 months, almost all news organizations will be charging for content. Because without new revenue streams, we need to be clear about this, quality journalism will wither. We should be under no illusions about the price we would pay as a result. It would not be measured in terms of jobs alone, but something far more enduring and valuable. Journalism does form part of the lifeblood of free societies. Journalism is not perfect, nor was it ever meant to be. By its nature, it is often uncomfortable, especially for those in positions of power. But journalism matters, and I will defend it to the last.